Seeing none, we can go on to the next item.
I believe the next item would be the presentation from Roots Soccer.
And I did want to just acknowledge that Vice Chair Miley appears to have jumped back into attendees, and I'm having issues. It's not allowing me to promote him to panelist.
Okay, who is currently the host?
Oh, maybe it just worked. Let's see.
He's back in. Yes, I see.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Vice Chair Miley, welcome back to the panel. Did you have any questions or comments on this item?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we may proceed to the next item.
The next item will be a presentation by Roots Soccer, and I believe Lindsay Barenz is going to do the presentation. And Ms. Tan had asked, I think, that we allow somebody to share screen, and I can't remember.
I think I will allow Lydia Tan to share screen, and there we go. Let's see if that works.
You just transferred host capabilities.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully that worked. To share screen, I think that's the way I have to do it. Yeah.
Okay, we have the screen sharing. So let me welcome all of you and express our excitement and appreciation for the growth of the Roots and the Soul, and for soccer more broadly in Oakland and the surrounding region. We know this is a growing sport and an important one in our community. I just want to make sure to note that we are not agendized for any action on this today, nor is there a recommended action before us today. So this is a informational discussion in which we will not be taking action, but we want to appreciate everyone involved, and thank you for being here, and give you the floor to make your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. We really appreciate you having us here today. I am Lindsay Barenz, the president of Oakland Roots and Oakland Soul. We are the first purpose-driven sports team in the United States, and we are entering our third year as a professional sports club in Oakland. Our purpose is to harness the magic of Oakland and the power of sport as a force for social good. From day one, we have focused on increasing the health, equity, and happiness in Oakland by winning soccer games, developing local talent, improving access to sport, and being a sustainable pro sports team in Oakland. Last year in Oakland, we donated more than $120,000 to causes and underserved communities. With our partners Anthem Blue Cross and Positive Coaching Alliance, we trained and equipped 100 community coaches on how to coach soccer and use sports to teach life lessons such as teamwork, leadership, and resiliency. With Unity Council, we co-hosted the Oakland Street Soccer Cup at the heart of Dia de los Muertos. With Black Cultural Zone, we brought free soccer and equipment to their outdoor play days in East Oakland. And with our 6 purpose partners, which are grassroots nonprofits in Oakland, we hosted at Oakland Roots games hundreds of kids and their parents who otherwise would not have access to professional sports in Oakland. We are also leaders in anti-racism and gender equity work globally. We are a founding member of the Anti-Racist Project, an action-based approach to tackling systemic racism in soccer and society. We helped to launch Switch the Pitch, an anti-racism education program aimed at youth coaches. We are a founding member of Play Proud, an initiative to make soccer safer for members of the LGBTQ+ community. And this year, we are very excited to launch Oakland Soul, our women's soccer team. Soul will begin play this year in the USLW League, a pre-professional league. We plan to promote Soul to Super League, a professional women's league launching in 2024, as soon as we have a venue to accommodate 2 professional teams. In just a few years, the Oakland Roots and Oakland Soul have grown dramatically. We regularly sell out our current game day venue at Laney College. Last year, we distributed over 60,000 tickets. We have nearly 100,000 followers across our social media platforms and more than 50,000 individuals on our mailing list. Our fan net promoter score is over 80. That means people have a really good time at our games. We have fans from every corner of Oakland who represent every neighborhood and community, as reflected on this map of our fan base. We are also a proud member of the Oakland business community. We have local partnerships with Oaklandish for merchandise, Line 51 for beer, UCSF Health for healthcare, and East Bay Community Energy is our sustainability partner. This year, we will have partnerships with 17 local bars and restaurants to promote watch parties for our away games. We also have partnerships with the Oakland Zoo and Visit Oakland to promote the town. We have 65 full-time employees and 82 part-time employees. Those numbers will grow significantly when we have our own venue. On game days, we create hundreds of jobs employing local food trucks, local security, local janitorial staff, and members of OPD. Right now, we play our games at Laney College. We love playing at Laney, but we cannot continue playing there beyond 2024. The venue is too small and we cannot accommodate all of our fans or generate enough revenue to cover the cost of putting on our games. Laney rightly puts their students' needs first, but that creates uncertainty for us that we can't have as a professional team. We put down and pick up a soccer pitch for every game. Pitches aren't made for that, and ours is rapidly deteriorating. We want to make Soul a fully professional team, but we can't do that at Laney because there aren't enough available dates to add a second professional team. Finally, the Oakland Roots would like to express our support for AASEG and their redevelopment of the Coliseum. We believe there is a path forward that allows a game day home for Roots and Soul and allows for the full and timely development of the Coliseum property. Oakland is our home. It's where we want to live, train, work, and play our games. So I will turn it over to my colleague, Lydia Tan, to discuss our options for a new game day facility in Oakland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and welcome, Lydia Tan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Lindsay. Can talk a little bit about the more technical aspects of looking for an interim home. As Lindsay mentioned, we're currently at Laney, and that capacity is at 5,000 fans. And she also mentioned we regularly sell out. So when we started to think about what would an interim stadium look like as we are looking for a long-term home, this is the list of things. One is a 10,000 fan capacity so that we can continue to grow. The ability to schedule both the Roots and the Souls team games at the same time, accessible locations, and availability of parking. Our lease with Laney right now expires in 2024, so we're looking for an interim home starting in 2025, which is very quick. And as a result, we started to really narrow our search down to sites that already have the underlying zoning in place so that we could be up and running very quickly. And then the last one, which is really important, is because this is an interim, this would be an interim stadium, the idea of doing as little intervention as possible to make the site ready for us was important. There's a modular stadium system is essentially a kit of parts that get delivered to the site, get assembled up, and once we are ready to leave and move to our permanent home, we can disassemble and carry the stadium away with us. So that was important to us. And aside from technical goals, we also wanted to make sure that there were some qualitative goals that we could achieve as well. One is to expand beyond the stadium and think about ways to activate the local community. How do we leverage our facility to continue to benefit the community? And then improve our fan experience. You may have seen that we had a fan survey that went out recently and got some great feedback about what our fans enjoy about our experience and what they would like us to see change. And so certainly an intimate family experience, something that we're going to try to keep on. Folks love our block party. We have the local food trucks. They'd like to wait less time in those lines, and so we'll have to think about how to address that. But they really love the whole vibe of the local food trucks and really making it a neighborhood party. And then, as Lindsay mentioned, just making sure that we are continuing to invest in our local businesses as we spend dollars. So as we started our search for an interim stadium, we looked at a lot of different ideas. We really appreciated a lot of suggestions that many of our friends and colleagues provided to us. Ultimately, though, we were down to 3 and then really down to 2 that had adequate size, adequate zoning, and that is Alameda Point in Alameda, the base reuse area, and then also the Coliseum. And when we started to approach both the City of Alameda and the Henry at the JPA, as far as Coliseum was concerned, we were very quickly suggested to look harder at Malibu. I think ASM was concerned about us being on the parking lot proper, given that the Coliseum and the arena are still quite active, and parking was still needed. So we were really pointed to Malibu and have spent most of our time with Malibu. With respect to Malibu, what we have done to date is really try to do kind of a high level, are there any fatal flaws to the idea of occupying Malibu for an interim period of time. So we did a physical test fit, which I'll share with you in a minute. We had two good beginning conversations with the JPA team about making sure that there was never a point in time where there were 3 events happening at the same time, simply to accommodate the need for parking and coordination. And as we talk through schedules, we actually think that that's a very doable goal. We did some high-level technical due diligence as well, looked at the geotechnical issues, environmental issues on the site. There's a couple of easements on the site, and we have investigated those and had a very quick call with BCDC about their jurisdiction over the creek that is adjoining to the site. And then, talking with the JPA, initial conversations with AASEG, to really understand their long-term development plans and to make sure that we are completely aligned in making sure that their plans to redevelop the Coliseum are things that we can support, and we can make sure we structure any plans to make sure that they have a clear pathway to redevelopment. So specifically for Malibu, we are proposing a stadium that has the 10,000 fan capacity. It's really a game day venue. We would not be practicing here. We would be looking for a practice facility in other places. Oops, sorry. And then in terms of the on-site, it would be the stadium and all those operations, and off-site at the Coliseum site, we'd be looking for parking, bike parking facility, and then also pedestrian access from BART. So just a diagram of the areas that we were looking at. You can see the dotted line that would take BART riders down to the site and up to Coliseum Way, and then the blue area would be where we would propose a primary parking B, and then in the triangle is the Malibu site. Just a aerial of the same diagram. So this is a test fit. This is not a design, but we needed to understand from a geometry standpoint whether or not we could put a rectangle into a triangle. And it looks like we can. As you can see, we've got the field at a really great north-south direction. There's an electrical easement on the west side, and so we can't build anything permanent there. Something that we can't take away in a day's notice, and so we have stayed away from that area. But we think it's a great opportunity for our block party just to get supersized along there, which means that the bulk of the stands are on the I'm sorry, that was the east side. The bulk of the stands are on the west side of the field, which is actually really great. And as you can see, the main entry would be right at the corner of Coliseum Way, right next to the parking lot. And just a couple of three-dimensional images that kind of show how this fits on the site. I'm going to hand it back to Lindsay to close us down.
So thank you for this opportunity today. We want to be the first step in the Coliseum redevelopment to kickstart job creation and activity at this site. This stadium will allow us to stay in Oakland, increase our community impact, and search for a permanent home in Oakland. Our plan is flexible and movable, and we are committed to cooperation with all of the parties involved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. That was quite lovely. And thank you for all the work you've been doing to expand soccer, including both men's soccer and women's soccer, and the fan base and the excitement. Certainly the game crowds are beautiful and exciting. And I like that you're looking at a way to continue to have the food truck experience, which people so enjoy and which is so lovely. And of course, this is not before us today for action. So let me just say, as your chair, I'm happy to continue to work with you and all the stakeholders toward, refining this into something that could be practicable, and that to make sure that we're taking all those needs into account. And of course, that the City of Oakland has, in fact, entered into an ENA with AASCG, the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, for the Coliseum proper. And of course, it's important that they be fully involved, and that those two efforts would be fully coordinated. So I'm pleased to hear that there have been meetings there, and I'm happy to continue to support that effort to make sure that we can have a positive and harmonious effort, as well as discussions about potential long-term placements, including the Peralta College site or other sites that might be worth pursuing together for long-term placement. So thank you. Before I call for public comments, do any of my colleagues have anything they wish to ask or add at this time? Seeing none, we will call for the public speakers. So members of the public who wish to comment on this. Oh, pardon me, Commissioner Iglesias, your hand is up.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to thank Lindsay and Lydia for the presentation. It's really helpful and exciting. We're obviously big supporters of the Roots and Soul and everything. And the visuals, I think, were super helpful. Just to kind of see, I mean, that was like really, really helpful. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, we will note for the record how you put a rectangle into a triangle is an excellent thing to get to depict. So thank you for that, and it's good to have you all here. We will now go to the members of the public. Zennie, welcome yet again to the floor.
Thank you. Was I unmuted or I'm talking? Okay. Fantastic presentation, and thank you all for what you've done with the Oakland Roots. Very exciting. Two questions. First of all, has anyone looked at the drainage issue regarding the Malibu site? It's been a problem from time to time. That's the first one. The second one is the presentation. When I look at something like that, I always think, okay, what's the cost? What's your ability to pay for it? And what's your funding gap? And how do you propose to, fill the funding gap? So have you all worked on that? Thank you. Worked that out, excuse me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gardner, do you wish to address that? Or that may be something for follow-up?
I think those questions better for Ms. Tam.
Okay. Thank you. Lydia Tan?
Hi, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to hand host back to Betsy. So the two questions, the drainage issue, Zennie, it'd be great to hear a little bit more from you offline about what the drainage issue is. The site is high in the middle by about 8 feet or so. And so in terms of being able to have a flat field to play with, we know that we're going to have to regrade the site to a certain extent and would take on drainage. We've already talked about some strategies for keeping the storm water on site once we're finished. So maybe the improvements we're proposing might actually help long term the site as well. In terms of the cost, I don't know, Lindsay, if you'd like to address.
Sure, I'll address that. There are a lot of factors that are yet to be determined that will determine how much the site will cost to develop and the structure will cost to build. But our ownership is confident that with the right structure, they can find funding for this temporary stadium in Oakland.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, since we're not actually voting on a proposal today, it's reasonable to not have that level of detail. I just want to be clear that we're not putting it on the spot because we don't actually have a proposal we're voting on. So it's okay to not have that yet. And, you know, when we get to that point, of course, we would have that. And just to be clear, you're talking about a lease of the property, not a purchase.
Most correct, yes.
Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I just want to really thank you for all the great work and positivity in the community, as well as the work on this site. I do see one other public speaker from members of the public, Jesse. Oh, and two more. So I believe Betsy Lake, you are now host again of the Zoom. If we could enable the remaining public speakers. Thank you.
Mr. Baruch, you are.
Hi, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time to public comment and for this meeting to be open and publicized in advance. And it was great to see the proposal from the Roots. I'm a big Roots fan. I'm looking forward to the Soul this year. And I just want to express a vote of confidence or a vote in favor of cooperation between all parties involved. I'm also a big WNBA fan, and I really hope we get a team here as soon as possible. So I think, you know, anything we can do to get the parties in the same room and facilitate that cooperation. I think that's, you know, what I'm hearing from my fellow fans is that we want to see that cooperation happen. So I'm glad to see that that's featured in the presentation. So I hope that can continue. And I just want to say thank you to everyone involved.
And next we have Natalia Pemberton. You are allowed to speak.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I live in Oakland. I +1 Jesse's comment around really supporting the cooperation here. I think we have so much creativity in Oakland and so many people who care about our city and our people. And I am really happy that we have the opportunity to see all of these different vibrant organizations working together. I am here to really ask the JPA for your support of Oakland Roots as they try to build their interim stadium. You know all about the Roots are established here, and we have a great fan base, and they're inclusive and they're diverse. But like the thing that stands out most to me, much the Roots care about Oakland. And I feel like that's something that is in common with y'all on the JPA and with the other people who are involved in the transactions. I see the Roots out there supporting Oakland business, supporting Oakland people, and just being loud and proud about how much Oakland means to all of us. And so enabling the Roots to continue to play in Oakland, I think really sends a signal that those of you who have power in Oakland are willing to support organizations that don't just want to be here, but are committed to doing great work here. And so I'm really urging you as the JPA, along with the Oakland City government and the AASCG, to work together in good faith. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Wayne Binkley. You are allowed to speak.
Thank you so much. I'm also joined by my wife, Laura Grace Ashton. We're just very excited about this proposal. As East Oakland residents, we think it'd be a great, immediately available kind of resource. While a lot of development is known to take time, the Roots are an organization that is proven and has an active fan base now, engaged in the community. And I really think that this would be a great opportunity, both for residents of East Oakland, such as ourselves, and everyone throughout Oakland, to really have a great opportunity for what is an empty parking lot at this point.
And just to add on to what my husband's saying, we're East Oakland residents. We live on East 14th and 70th Avenue. And this area is Oakland. This is the heart of Oakland. And this is what people think of when they think Oakland. This area has always had the Coliseum and the arena, or at least it has since my mom was a kid in Oakland. And, it makes sense for the Roots to be in East Oakland. It makes sense for us to be at this lot, and you know, the people of Oakland want it here. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next hand is Lauren Wheeler.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for, I guess, having this conversation. I'm a resident living in District 3. And my family, we've been season ticket holders since the Roots basically began. And for us, it's been a really important way to show my kid, who is 8 now, what civic investment can look like. He's happy to see people who look like him in the stands. He's happy to see people who look like him on the field. Doesn't hurt that his name is Pele. He's a soccer fan. So for us, it's really important that this team that is rooted in Oakland remain in the city. So we really want to see Oakland, the city of Oakland and the JPA, I think, work to support the idea that this team stay here. To me, that feels important. Culturally, it feels important politically. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And then we have a caller with the name Don't Mind Me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The ASCG has earned the right for that adjacent area and everything to build around there. The A's lease ends the end of next year, and I imagine once they get to the DDA process, they're going to break ground immediately and get jobs and everything rolling there at the Coliseum. If you look at any iteration or any rendering or drawing, that Malibu home base site is an entry point. It's very, very important to the overall vision. The Roots would just be in the way. We're doing this for a temporary situation. Please, let's just stop it. This is ridiculous. You East Bay politicians, you stay doing this time and time again. You make the wrong decisions, and you're doing it again. The ASCG should be the lead dog on this, and if they have concerns, they're not with this, then you should respect that. Otherwise, all this talk of systemic racism and all that other stuff, you guys are just doing it. It's just a bunch of hot air. Don't do this. Roots, you guys go move to Alameda or somewhere else, though. You guys are not needed at the Coliseum. Thank you.
And I think that concludes the last of the public speakers.
Well, thank you so much, and really appreciate everyone for being here. And I will just restate the importance of effective collaboration and the fact that the City of Oakland is actually in a formal exclusive negotiating agreement with AASCG for the Coliseum as we work to enhance and revitalize this site and work with all the various stakeholders for a positive future. And thank you for sharing the pictures and for spending the time with us here today. As we discussed, this item is not an action item today, so we will certainly continue to follow up with you on next steps. And thank you for being here, and thank you for the important work. And so I believe that takes us to item 7,